Dedicated to my people, black people in every hood and every city. May we always rise together.
My bad.
I was in an Uber with somebody earlier, right? Where as soon as I got in the car, they knew who I was. So they were trying to like have certain conversations. They want to know what I think about the mayor, what I think about this, what I think about that. And they kept on trying to get my visceral take on what I disagree with about Brandon, what I disagree with about city council, and all I kept on telling them about is what I'm doing. I'm like, bro, you about to drop me off at my rec center.
Right.
This center I opened, like me and my partner opened, like this shit is serving this many kids in West Baltimore. After this expansion that we're getting ready to do, we're going to be serving this many kids in West Baltimore. I'm involved in this legislative policy initiative. I'm involved in this city council initiative. So I don't look for anybody to come and save me. What I say is we all have to be a part of our own rescue. And that means that the things that we want to see, we have to create them. The things that we want to support, we have to find the people that are doing that and support them with whatever means that we have. I would much rather go to spend my time and energy creating a different norm than I would complaining about the state of where we are.
From your mouth to God's ears, Aaron, because you're very cerebral. You're so logical. You're so logical, and everything you say make perfect sense in a world where, and I know this because I use my head too. And we're living in a world where so many people just use their hearts and their emotions, and so they find themselves wanting to apologize all of the time because they shot from the chest and they said some dumbass shit that they can't take back. You know what I mean? Like that's why even in the midst of cancel culture, like the people that I disagree with, I'm still on public record as saying I still feel like they deserve the mic. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel like I get anything from deplatforming or taking away from anybody else's voice or their platform or anything like that. I really feel like the cream rises to the top. So if you don't like the message that somebody else is putting out there, that means that y'all got to get a lot more intentional and vocal about the message that you want to put out. But I understand that at some point, whatever the gavel that we all are trying to bang is going to come down on us. Since you bring the mayor up, I just want to go on record saying this. I feel like in the city of Baltimore, the mayor talks about Mervo too much and not enough about Dunbar. Not enough about Dunbar.
I was wondering where that was going. I was about to say, I've already talked too much about politicians over the last couple of weeks.
If the mayor keeps talking about Mervo more than he talks about Dunbar High School, the legendary Paul Laurence Dunbar High School, I'm running in 2024. I can't take this shit no more. I got the credentials. I went to college. You can see it on the wall. There's some trophies. Like, I got everything you need.
Right. All right, look. Let me get to my actual interview questions right now, because I feel like we could do this. We could do this all night, and then we end up both getting in trouble having to go home to our ladies. So,
campaign team, man.
So let's start at the beginning. All right, like, I want to know on record, where did your love of not writing but storytelling begin? Because you've been a gifted storyteller even before I feel like you were a scholar.
Probably Donnell Boyd, man. Donna, man. When the more and more I get older, I get and I reflect on my life. I think about my father for sure, right? I think about my dad. And I think about the stories he told to get through life. And it wasn't stories for like fun it wasn't stories for fun, but it's stories that turn into fun. Let me explain. So one story would be, I got this new TV from Circuit City. So the basis of that would be, well, how in the hell did you get the money for this TV? You broke as shit. So check this out. I go to Circuit City. This is where the storytelling comes in. And it's double layered, so you got to capture it, right?
Right.
It's two kinds of joy. First kind of joy. I go to Circuit City and I fill out the credit app. And the woman writes down 500 on the approval thing and sits it on the table. She goes to help another customer. I put a 1 in front of the 500. Now it says 1,500. She comes back around, and she picks up the form and punches it into the computer and files it away. The laminated whatever card prints out. We talking about the 80s.
Yeah.
The laminated card prints out. He got the big screen. So the first joy is I scam Circuit City. That's storytelling level number one, right? The second part of it is now I'm on the block telling everybody that I did it, and everybody's laughing and crying and joking, right? And I live for that story.
And you a street legend for a day.
I live for that story more than I live for. I live for the story more than I live for watching whatever shows that was on that color TV that everybody was like crowded around to come watch it because we had the big joint and we were shining for that particular time. So it's that. And then it's Darnell Boy, man, because Darnell Boy told long stories and he made everything funny, man. He made everything funny, man. Trauma, funny. Poverty, funny. I got a job, funny. You got curved by a girl, funny. You can't hoop, funny. You nice as shit, funny. Like he literally made everything to a joke, and I idolized that shit. Like, and I think losing him was probably one of the most transformative parts of my life because
how old were you at that point?
I was 13. He got killed October 3rd, 1993. And he got killed. When he got killed, 12. When he got killed, he was like, he just graduated from like Patterson High School like a year before that. And when he got killed, I think it threw me off because I wasn't used to people who didn't hustle, who didn't sell drugs getting killed.
Yeah.
Like if you sold drugs and you got shot or something, I wasn't good with it.
Yeah, but you understood.
My mind justified it. Well, that's Bryant from Linwood. From Linwood. Once he started hustling, I knew that could happen. Or that was Derek and them, and they was getting all that money or whatever. And I knew, everybody was hating that could happen. But when a dude who worked a job and played basketball and sat outside with us kids and talked shit all day and made jokes all day and laughed at Martin the same way I laughed at Martin and wanted riches the same way we all wanted it, even though he wasn't going to do the quick stuff to get it. He was taking the long route. When he gets killed, he got killed over a girl. When he gets killed, then it kind of restructures how you think about trauma, how you think about pain, and how you think about what happened to you. So I think once that happened to him, I think I developed the mentality of the storytelling was there, but also whatever, I'm with it mentality came from that. So are we going out tonight? I'm with it. We gonna do this tonight? I'm with it. We gonna bust a move we gonna do whatever crime.
That live fast, die young.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Whatever it is, I'm with it because this shit can stop any day because you don't even gotta be in the streets for it to happen to you because it can happen.
So with that being said, and I'm not gonna rapid fire these, but I want to continue to go down that narrative. Describe Baltimore through the eyes of, what would you say, 13? A 10-year-old D Watkins. What was, because we don't start off with a bird's eye view of the city. We start off with the view that we have from West Baltimore, East Baltimore, wherever we may be. What was Baltimore to you at that age?
Pedal my bike up to boat checks, get winners, play as long as I could play. Sometimes quit in the middle of the game to shoot dice. Always liked dogs, but never wanted to own one because I didn't want the responsibility. Realized that I can have a girlfriend on Robinson Street and one on Streeter Street, and I can have a girlfriend on Milton Avenue and Port Street straight up. Because
as long as you keep a couple blocks between everybody, please dive into that a little bit more because people that from Baltimore don't realize that we're a small city with over 300 neighborhoods. And a lot of these neighborhoods, people literally, it might as well be bars around these motherfuckers.
But mostly we have fun though. Like from 13 all the way through, like I don't even think like I started dealing with like tapping into like how depressed I've actually been over the years until I probably got into my early 20s because my teenage years was like a blur because I wasn't going to make it playing no sport. So if you spent a certain amount of time working out and training and all that kind of stuff.
It's almost like you hustling
I got all that free time because nobody's going to make me run suicides and shit. So I got all of that free time. So it was almost like, we literally, we made everything fun. We sit Mad Dog 2020. And we graduated to Tanqueray. We smoked Philly blunts and regular weed. We graduated the Dutch Masters, which is like a wild title with 3 white men on the package. But we graduated to Dutch Masters and started smoking what they call Arizona, and then we started smoking Blueberry. We rode dirt bikes. We had girlfriends. We broke up with them. We promised them that we'd marry them. We changed our minds. We some of us became fathers. Some of us caught time and came home. But at the end of the day, I think my generation, we tried to utilize the tools that we had to protect our neighborhoods the best we could. Now the killings was there. The killings they happened, but at the same time, I think. Robinson Street, and these are some of blocks on Curly Street, and then going up the Dickey Land, Igger Street with my best friend Tavon. These blocks, there were people that hustled, but there were people that we kept the block clean, right? And we did block party stuff, and we kept kids away from the streets, so we gave kids money to not do certain things. So I think we tried. I just think we're in a space now. You can't give the kid money to stay up the street because you need the $5,000 to buy your Louis Vuitton romper. So you can't give the kid money to stay up the street.
I want to sit there for a second, though, because usually when people talk about Baltimore and they talk about life that they don't know anything about in the trenches, right? They leave that part out. You know what I'm saying? They leave the fact that, even though you have people there that are robbing, that are killing, that are selling drugs, these people aren't oblivious to what's happening in their neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Those same dudes told me to stay far away from that shit. You know what I'm saying? They told me to stay on the football field. They told me
we tried.
And I actually feel like I have a question. I'm jumping ahead a little bit now because I wanted to get to Mello later on, but I wonder how you felt when helping him to pen his memoir, right? And hearing about him, his story of, being at the rec every single day, working and grinding and trying to stay away from that element, knowing that this is my only shot. But the self-awareness that most of the dudes that he was growing up with, you would have been had to know that, look, this is your opportunity, but I ain't going to end up getting rich off of this. You know what I'm saying? You doing what you doing, but
it's a cheat code.
Go ahead.
It's a cheat code. It's a cheat code with that project because me and Carmelo are alike in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, as far as being depressed teenagers. So it was easy for us to have those conversations. For people who don't know us, Carmelo's fucking hilarious. Carmelo is funny as shit. People don't know Carmelo is funny. Some people, his good friends know, but some people don't know Carmelo is hilarious. So
even in the shit that you see with him, in interviews and all that, even back in the day, the stop snitching video, that shit was hilarious to us. My dad,
think about the D Wade retirement game when you'll just catch the ball and he what I'm saying? He's hilarious. So I think that was easy, and I think sports was one of the coping mechanisms that helped him get through some of the stuff he was trying to get through. And I think at that young age, I didn't even know or discover any type of coping mechanism to help me deal with it, other than just having fun every day. And I think that's something that a lot of us relate to, as well. But you hit it right on the head. I wanted to go back when you was talking about that bird's eye view, because people don't really know what happens inside these spaces. But it's not, we put too much pressure. We put too much blame on music. We put too much blame on people. We put too much blame on the system.
Those are scapegoats.
It's so many scapegoats out there. It's so many scapegoats out there, and really, we're the product of collective failure. We're the product of systemic poverty. We're the product of undiagnosed and untreated trauma, and all of these things. The combination of all of these things.
The bigotry of low expectations.
It's the combination of them all that create those conditions. And like I know, we can pull ourselves up out of what we're in, but it's also it's not just us. It's not just us. It's truth and reconciliation. It is the system. They just apologized for slavery, like when Obama got elected. Congress just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, this shit is bigger than, not saying the community cleanup not worth it, because it is worth it.
That's the problem. We only want to have a conversation about that, though. Like, people only want to talk about niggas picking themselves up by their bootstraps. I got
a homeboy that's doing some wild shit with like finance that is like everybody who's connecting with him is getting their finance and they shit together. He's as important. We don't need him sweeping up the block. We need him trying to build these banks to give loans to these people to build these businesses so our people can buy from our people and have our shit together. Like, I don't, like a mind like you, you probably strong as shit, but I don't need you moving a dirty mattress. That's for like my uncle who don't know how to who got a fucking AOL email. Let that nigga go move a couch. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. Like, everybody's role matters.
That's what I'm
saying. We put so much stake and stock into the role of like the frontline activist, or like the educator in academia, or you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't look at the role that the regular 9-to-5 worker, or just the parent, or just the person in the community has in contributing to our journey that we're trying to
The only worthless person is the Twitter commentator. It's the only fucking community member that can go.
But that's the thing. Everybody has a mic now.
They're not in the community. Because they're not in the fucking community.
Everybody has a mic. Nobody has a hard hat or a shovel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we are unhappy with certain shit that certain politicians do. But that's just the nature of politics. It's the nature of being a citizen. I think it's fucked up. And this is where it gets crazy at is, we'll criticize some shit that we don't like, but then something that's good comes across and you're just completely silent. Yeah. And it's like, it don't.
Or you'll find a way to hate on that too.
You can't build community like that. Like, you can't be a part of a community if you only acknowledge the bad and you never talk about the good.
But part of that
can't be a community.
I feel like part of that is systemic too, because one of my biggest problems, especially here locally in Baltimore, is you have, and like we said earlier, in a city with over 300 communities, neighborhoods, right, that has been chopped up by redlining and so many other different policies. You have amazing groups that are doing work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got people like Erica Bridgeford, Brittany Young. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many people like Baltimore Core, Elijah and the Tendea family, like all of these people.
Doing their thing.
And I'm not even just speaking of these specific organizations by themselves, but in a city like this, all of those organizations are meant to fight for scraps off of the same table. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say one of these people that are fully funded and taken care of by the city or the state. You know what I'm saying? If they want to go out for grants, they're competing with the same neighborhood organizations from a hood 3-4 blocks over. You know what I'm saying? That's also doing great work. And because of that atmosphere, you don't have the same amount of collaboration that is really necessary to transform community.
The way to get a lot of
operating
money
in silos and pockets.
The way to get a lot of grant money is to steal. You got to be like a fraud. If you like a fraud, if you
scamming this out here,
you like a fraud and you don't do nothing but just run your mouth all day, the money gonna find you. They're gonna be like, that person got the answer. They have to, because they talk all of the time.
But part of that is the problem too. People, when funds and resources are available, they go to the people that are necessarily the most visible and not the people that are the most active.
But that's what scares me, is that if that person is black in their 30s and 40s, you black in your 30s and 40s, to the motherfucker holding the bag, y'all look the same.
Right.
So the safe bet for them is the one who's gonna spread
Mm-hmm.
how much that grant, who's going to make this grant look more visible. We're going to go to the person who's quiet and doing a thing, or we're going to go to the loud ass person that fucking run their mouth all of the time.
And the person that'll go along. You know what I mean? Because let's be very clear. If we just going to take the schools as an example, right? Let's just say we're talking about like Baltimore City public school system, our education. We know, everybody here knows that this system is broken from an education standpoint. We're not doing it effectively or the right way. And the same people that are essentially stealing or essentially not allowing the system to transform the way that it needs to transform have been in those same positions for years. And nobody wants to rock that boat. Nobody wants to be an enemy of those people because they're actually powerful people. You know what I mean? Like,
people are really powerful as shit.
Yo, like, especially in a small community like Baltimore. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes change is too scary for people that have lived their whole lives accepting that certain people and certain institutions are always going to be the institutions in the power position.
Yo, it took me so long to be accepted by the school system that I kind of got accepted by the school system when I wasn't even looking for acceptance anymore. That's some shit. Like, yo, that's some sad shit, bro. Like, I wasn't like, I was shocked. I'm like, damn, y'all know who I am? Like because the work, don't get me wrong. That's why. So I wasn't pressured because the work was inside schools like crazy.
Yeah.
Like
you giving away more of your books, man, like than just about any author I know.
And I couldn't do it without Penn Faulkner. I couldn't do it without Simon & Schuster. I couldn't do it without Hooks for Books. All of these places invested in me. And and so it was a combination of them, and it was a combination of like Owl City has some great teachers. Like, yeah. I don't want to let that like go. Like,
I don't think anybody, like, I would never. I've been a former teacher of the school system,
that's what I'm saying. But
we know. But think about how many of our teachers have been masters at doing more with less. None of these people had a full budget or resources.
I didn't have teachers like these new teachers now. Like how you was in the classroom. Mm-hmm. With the knowledge and the fucking Black Power t-shirts and the teaching the kids how to love themselves and shit. Yo, when I was going to school, teachers used to say shit like, you ain't shit. You gonna get murdered, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then I go to school to help the kids, and the teacher's like, you matter, Mr. Watkins. I just brought granola bars for these kids. You know, and I'm like, damn, you be giving them.
I feel like our teachers used to watch Lean On Me every night before they went to sleep. Like, everybody would try to be Joe Clark. Yo,
they ain't fuck with us, bro. So, like,
we never talked about how traumatizing that movie was for like a whole generation of kids. Like, just
people,
really what you.
People might not fuck with me after this, yo. I ain't gonna lie, yo. I still kind of fuck with Lean On Me though, yo. Hey, yo. You would have been telling your students to jump out. You're like, Mr. Clock, man. I'm dropping out of school, man. I'm dropping out of school.
You'll be dead in a year.
Son, you think he's going to say, son, come back, or son, stay, or son, dead in a year. We can figure it out. You'll say, son, you be dead in a year. He like, son, you be dead before our phones come out. I'm like, damn, Mr. Clock went hard as a motherfucker. Like, I said, Mr. Clock was on some shit, dog. Like, but I think a long time, people was talking about like how messed up the teachers were, and I think like the teachers who care, or the teachers who didn't fully understand culture started to understand how they were looking in the greater society, and I think a lot of them stepped up. So those teachers were the first ones. They put 2 over pop culture in the classroom. That led to, I mean, people don't. A lot of people, some people know this, some people don't. But I'm like over 500-600 school visits, and I haven't even been at this shit for a decade yet.
Right.
That's a lot, and I think I accomplished that because the teachers were like, "Yo, the students are connecting with the work. They never met a writer before." So many schools I've been to. So many teachers, too many to count, have told me I've been the first person who presented a book that the students read from front to back, and I'm the first writer that ever came to see them.
Yeah.
Now, it's some normalized shit now. It's normal now.
But why is it's only normal? Because authors like you actually went out of their way. Like, and that's my thing. Like, when you talk about changing norms, it takes something that hasn't been the norm, that people haven't been conventionally doing. Like, for example, like we talked about the type of teachers that we had coming up. Do you think that it's by happenstance that now, because educators like myself and you and people like, look, it's way more. I look at the stuff that Valencia Clay is doing. has been doing in the classroom for years. You know what I mean? Like the way that she's been engaging, and the fact that now you almost have these new age teachers that have been educators for other educators in teaching them how to reach and connect with their kids that come from different backgrounds that they do. You know what I mean? Like,
shout out Valencia,
like
man.
we've never had
Valencia about to get a
blueprints.
PhD.
Yeah.
Valencia in a doctoral program.
She been that
She's
though.
taking that shit to the next level.
And that's my thing. Like,
we
shouldn't have to wait until these people get accepted by higher academia to accept the fact that they are transforming our systems for the better.
And she understands.
She been that.
She understands. She got out the school system because she understands how systems work. The same reason.
That's why I'm out of the school.
The same reason why. That's what I'm saying. Like you got out. Like you made. Like yo, Valencia changed so many lives. You changed so many lives. But now that you guys are out the system, you are changing and have the potential to hit it on bigger levels because you're not dealing with the constraints of the system. So when my books got in the Baltimore City Public Schools, I was dealing with the constraints initially. How I came in, I was rejected constantly because of the system. The system is like, yo, his book. He said bitch and fucking his book. We can't use this, but we gonna give him more Shakespeare. Like it's not murder.
But the problem is,
you know what I mean? Like it's not
in the same syllabus. You got Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you got all of these. You got Catcher in the Rye. You got Tom you have all of these different books that literally that are the architects of shorthand, are the architects of colloquial language. But when it's our colloquial language that's being discussed,
man.
You know what I mean?
You use the N-word like it whiteness teeth, man.
And that's my thing.
Tom Sawyer, like, man, this nigga
so you
will stop playing with me and tell that slave to paint that gate before I put my foot in his ass.
Exactly.
Send him back to Ghana. Like,
so that's my thing. It's like you need, and at a certain point, you need educators, you need writers, you need intellectuals that are willing to hold space for the people that come from the backgrounds that we come from. You know what I mean? Like, we can't expect more of our young kids to read if they're not seeing stories that are relatable. And we're students of hip hop. We're students of language, of text, of the storytelling tradition. And if not us, then who? Who are you waiting? And that's my problem with people that spend all of their time talking about the problems. Like, who are you waiting for to come save you or your kids? At some point, we got to say, like, yo, I might not have all of the resources or the skills or the money or the tools in the world, but what I do have, we're going to bring to bear to try to create sustainable solutions. You know what I mean? To try to address problems. And that's something that I've seen you doing for years, bro.
We try, man. We be trying this shit. Anything we try, man.
So let me go to this angle then, because this is the next track that I want to take in this talk. Where did your earliest conceptions or ideas about masculinity come from? Who shaped that for you in your life as a young man? Was it your father? Was it your brother? Like, who were the people that really molded that?
Outside. I think outside had the biggest effect, because I think our siblings and our parents and our siblings, they try their best to push us in the directions that they want to push us to.
Yeah.
Outside gets the final say.
Yeah.
Because you're outside more. You're outside more. Even when you're in school. Like you with your brothers and your sisters, you with your parents, you with those people, maybe before school if you're lucky. Yeah. Maybe at night if they ever come home. You know, but you
if they not working a night shift, or if they not trying to, the
people in school, they're gonna be there. The people on the block gonna be there. The people you hoop with, they're gonna be there. So it's like they kind of have more.
The game. Yeah.
They have more of a stake. Like, you know, I just wrote something about Father's Day. Like, damn, like I see my daughter in the morning. You know, I see her after school, but like she's 3 years old. She's in dance. She's in music, and you know, right now she's going between playing gymnastics and soccer. Like, she's fucking busy as shit. So she got to pencil me in on weekends.
My oldest daughter is busy in the
bro. Then I still got, but you know, me and my wife still want to do family stuff with us two, and then we want to do stuff with all three of us. But if you literally break down the schedule, you don't. She's having other influences, and there's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is be like, yo, just be a leader. Do what you feel. And she, like, again, she's 3, so she's learning, but trying to plant that seed of don't follow these people. Do what you feel. Don't follow these people. Read, think, read, think. Don't follow all the time, and that's all you really have. But, you know, so to answer the question, outside, man. Outside told me, you know, this is what men do. Outside told me this is not a man. Outside told me that's definitely a man. Outside said men don't listen, men don't pay attention, men don't get there on time, men don't eat no fucking vegetables. Like weak ass shit. That's what that's what outside said. Outside was wrong 90% of the time.
So that's really that's my next question. That's my next question. And now I'm kind of skipping ahead again, but just like, yo, for anybody that has not read Black Boy Smile, pause this video, open up your Amazon, your local bookstore, whatever website you can go to, or go to the store yourself, pick up this damn book and read it. I want to know how that concept of manhood and masculinity has changed between the man that you just described, even before you wrote Too Poor for Pop Culture, and the man that wrote Black Boy Smile. Because even if, matter of fact, I'm not even going to go there. I remember reading the Cook Up for the first time, and just the intro to that book, you described death, you described poverty, you described pain. You know what I mean? And there was no circling the block and like, oh yeah, there's also a bit of joy here or love here. It was just, nah, this is the bullshit that I've seen. I've seen it all. And when I read even the intro to Black Boy Smile.
And I think the intro is incomplete.
Huh?
The intro is incomplete.
It is.
Because at that point in my life, that's what I thought seeing it all meant. And my idea of seeing it all has grown. Yo,
please talk to me. Like, because if there's any bit of time that I wanted us to spend the majority of in this interview, it's that. Because, bro, like, that growth process has been so beautiful to watch from a bird's eye view.
Yo, somebody asked me, like, recently about committing suicide, right? Suicidal thoughts and shit, right? And I was telling them, like, yo, I actually tried to commit suicide multiple times. I wanted to die plenty of times. Plenty of fucking times. Just
Why?
Too stupid to pull the shit off. Depression, survivors, guilt, remorse.
Yeah. Especially growing up here. Yeah.
People who I love not being here. And you know what I told that person? I was like, yo, if I can give you any advice, it's that it always gets better. Don't stop before you give it a chance to get better. Now, getting better doesn't necessarily mean riches and, you know, luxuries and all of these different things. It's emotionally, spiritually. It's your relationships. It's what you learn about yourself. This shit gets better. It gets better. And I didn't know that at the time. So if you look at my worldview in the Cook Up, I thought because I seen a motherfucker in the wheelchair who got shot and was in the wheelchair get shot in that fucking wheelchair. I'm like, damn, I didn't seen everything. And then you get a little older and you like, yo, that's not everything, because I seen the people pour love into that person who got shot in that wheelchair and make sure that person was able to adjust in that reality and be able to grow to the next phase of their life. And that person who got shot in that wheelchair joined church. And just because I'm not like a, you know what I'm saying, like a Bible toter, I still saw the community that was around that person and that love that he grew from that situation.
You've seen hate, but you've seen God
so
too.
Now I seen more. You feel me? So it's like I told that person, like, yo, it gets better. Don't please give yourself a chance to see it get better. And for me, obviously the family, the wife and the daughter, that's, you know, I always wanted to say this, I can't believe I get to say it, that's chef's kiss. But even before that, my relationships with people like you, my relationships with people like Devin, my relationships with people like Connie, my relationships with all of the different people in this art world, it got better. And through that time, I've experienced so many failures. Some of them I talked about when they came up. Some of them I didn't really talk about like that because I guess it was at the time I was having so much fun at whatever the fuck I was doing that it didn't knock me off my square. So I think having the opportunity to even be up for something that you don't get is like all right, I didn't get it, but it's getting.
But you're on that track, yeah.
Better.
Yeah,
it's getting better, and
it's acknowledgement that people see your talent, your trajectory, your future.
I never knew that some of these people, like I've turned down some ghostwriting jobs too, but I never knew that some of these people with these big platforms and these big accomplishments and who done these things with their lives would be like breaking, like really, really, really hitting the agent up, making sure I'm the one that's working on a project, or at least trying to pitch me on why I should do their project. And I can sit back where I'm at from this little office in Baltimore and be like, nah, that's not for me. People who are like rappers who I admired since I was a little kid had came through the publishing company like, yo, can you, do this ghost job? And I'm like, nah, you're not ready. You know what I'm saying? And I get to say that to people who I looked up to. Now I don't know,
but you actually know, I would actually have to get you to open up in ways that you're not prepared to do right now. Yeah.
And the work is out there, and being in that position mean that it's getting better even still. So yeah, I wanted to commit suicide because I thought it wasn't going to get better. And then I fucked around and lived a little longer, and it continues to get better. And there's still some dark days, and there's still some, I still feel slighted sometimes. I still feel like there's certain things that I want that I don't have, or that I didn't, achieve it yet or whatever. But I'm also thankful that I get to get up every day and try. I get to try every day. And some days are great, and some days are long as shit and boring, and some days are gray and raining, and some days are sunny, and it's so much fun. I don't feel like trying. I just want to be out and be present. And I think all of that stuff matters. And I think the most important part is to just understand that if you didn't have bad days, if you didn't have rejection, if you didn't have people shit on you, if you didn't have people wanting to piss on your fucking grave, then you wouldn't fully love blessings. You wouldn't be able to understand opportunity. You wouldn't really know how to cherish somebody in your life that really love you and care about you, because you wouldn't have shit to fucking compare it to. You wouldn't even know.
Can we pause right there for a second? All right, this might be me being messy, but I feel like that right there is a bar just for me. Is there ever been a time, I know there's been a time, but what's something that you've lost because you didn't realize its true value? And how did that lesson shape this understanding that you now have, that you just imparted?
My virginity. No, I'm just joking.
Yo, you the wildest nigga. I'm giving you 60 minutes interview, Aaron, right now. And that's the ignorant shit.
I lost a lot. I lost a lot. What I will say is a lack of understanding. And I don't beat myself up over this because I was a kid. So a lack of understanding doesn't really, I wish I would have had different experiences with some of my family members and friends that I lost. And I wish I could go back and have these deep conversations with this 40-plus-year-old insight. I wish I could just go back and get on my shit with what I know now and who I grew to be, and it's gone. But when it comes to like relationships, and when it comes to like low money situations and stuff like that, I don't really think about it. It doesn't really, like, I don't feel like I lost anything. I just feel like it ain't going down the way it was supposed.
It's impossible to feel like you lost when you feel like, when you understand how blessed you truly are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can truly say, and people just say this, so I feel like I have best wife on the planet.
Let's talk about her for a second.
I feel like my daughter's better than other children.
No, let's talk about
my daughter beat your daughter ass.
Let's talk about your wife, because that right there has been a huge part of, I think
she's the lady goat.
I think your transition. Like, me personally, as your friend, I never seen you the way that I saw you when you and her really got serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen your whole lifestyle, your whole demeanor, like your whole mannerism, about your outlook to certain things change. Tell me about what she's done for you. Like, because I know how amazing she is. Like I'm a huge Quran fan, but
I think the first thing Quran did for me, and this is just a natural Quran thing, was teach me how to be hyper aware of my surroundings. Like the Quran put up a wall around, you know how I was moving. I was just me. Yeah. Like I'm just like, I was just big D out I'm like, so if I say something and somebody, and this is like a real shit. This is like a real, and I don't want people to feel like, you got to be in relationships with people to like everything has to be strategic, because I don't think our relationship is strategic at all. I think it's just pure love that bounced into each other, because we have totally.
I can remember me and you being in a car. Me and you were going somewhere, and she hit, and this before y'all were even like I think like seriously dating, but it was just like, yo, like
Aaron, I gotta go.
Y'all, it was like we was getting ready to go somewhere. We was getting ready to have dinner or drinks or something. And you was like, yo, you know what? Hey, I'm about to drop you off at the crib, dog. I literally never seen you.
That's what she did, but
that kind of mind. And I was like, let
me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because it was shaky, and I was trying to prove that I can be the person that she needed at that particular time. She values my time and my space, and she values my work, and she's valued all of that stuff. But what she did was she really, really helped me become aware of the impact that I have, because I didn't know, because you are just you. I'm just me. Yeah. So I always would look in the mirror and see myself. Yeah. So like if I say some shit like, Conjuani got on a motherfucking bow tie with a t-shirt. The t-shirts don't even fucking have like for me it's a joke, and this is a bad example, even though Connie really tried to.
I'm about to say he caught straight. He caught straight for no reason. He's not even in the room.
That's my little brother. I love him. But her influence is like, I know you playing, but there's also a lot of truth in the joke, and some of the things you say could potentially have a deeper impact on other people. And if you love people, like I know you love people, then you have to be hyper aware of what you say, because you could potentially hurt people. And you in the room, and just because nobody speaks, and just because nobody knows, like you feel like they don't know you, don't get it fucked up. I've been in rooms too, and these people know you, and these people can potentially pour into what you do in a positive way, or you can become their enemy without even saying anything to them, because you have that kind of power. And she really, really made me aware of myself. And it's a scary thing, because you want to be free, and you want to live in this world as a free person who can just say what they feel, but you also don't want to hurt people. Yeah. So I think being with her taught me how to self-audit, and just to make sure that, okay, I can play, but just understand that, the limitations on that, because I do love people a lot.
And that was real.
I don't want to hurt people. I just want to have fun.
I've never seen you more aware of not wanting to hurt or offend people as when y'all got together. You know what I'm saying? Also, it's like you had a different self-awareness about how you move in the world. And that's something that I'm grateful for my lady, for Sam, about I think we've both been blessed to find women that and it's not about us, but I think vicariously through our relationship have made us better versions of ourselves by I think that's showing us things that we didn't necessarily see.
I said I didn't want it to come off as like something that's transactional. So I don't know, maybe you can word this better than me, but I definitely think that in every relationship, I think that two people should unite, and I think they should pour out the best in each other. Yeah. And I think they should help the other person be aware of how they can potentially make other people feel. I think, we in this space now where it's like, everybody's woke now, and then like their free woke minds are like fucking dominated by ego.
Yeah, but a lot of their wokeness sounds like servitude and slavery to me. Because here's the thing, when you're so beholden to your own selfishness that you discount somebody else's feelings, which is something that I feel like we all have done at certain points in the past. When you get comfortable in that, when you just accept that this is who I am, and like anybody that's in my space is going to have to deal with the fact that, like, yeah, I'm probably going to hurt you at some point. And yeah, like this is going to have to be something that you either deal with or we going, nah, you should actually desire to make people happy. You should desire to like, if I really love you, I should want you to feel love, to feel appreciated, to feel valued and nurtured. And sometimes that takes me stepping outside of my comfort zone. And I think that we grow up training ourselves to turn that emotional compass off whenever it gets inconvenient, because that causes us to be vulnerable and seen in a way that we don't want to be seen. You don't want to be perceived as weak. The last thing a black man wants to be in America is weak. But we don't realize that honestly, as a father, I feel like, and as a partner, I think my truest strength is in my empathy and my compassion when I do it correctly. You know what I mean? Like, if my woman is going through something traumatizing, I can either make it immeasurably better or worse by how I bring my energy into the chat. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think that for a long time that we were concerned with how we were showing up in that way, because that's not something that as men I was told.
You're not taught it.
Yeah.
You taught that if you make money and you come home and you kill an animal and drag that fish to the dinner table.
As long as I'm bringing meat to the table, as long as the bills is paid. Yeah.
It's like, so the second part is gratitude and grateful. She's very grateful. And I think she's so thankful for some of the simple things that it taught me how to be thankful for things that I could have potentially looked over or took for granted. And I think I think that was very important to me as well. An ability to just see the good. And be thankful for our child, be thankful for our relationship. Things I'm obviously thankful for, but like be thankful in a way that is almost like unseen before. You know what I mean?
And I know other people have probably told you this already. I'm probably not the first, but she's also transformed your writing too. Because like the new vantage point.
Let's not get crazy.
Nah, bro.
Let's not get crazy.
Nah, bro. Black boy smile is something different, man.
Let's not get crazy.
It's something different. Nah. And that's a perspective that I never heard from you in conversation and all of that.
You don't think I could have became a better writer if I was single? You don't think single me was going to grow as a
better
better
is
writer?
Subjective. Better is subjective.
Like single me would be knocking shit down. No,
I'll say it like this: in terms of us, as we discussed before, repurposing and re-identifying new norms of masculinity,
well, she made me smarter.
Of all of that.
She made me smarter. Yeah. Being with Karan has made me smarter. Being with Karan has made me become more sensitive, more vulnerable. Being with Karan, being smarter, being sensitive, being more vulnerable will make you a better artist. Yeah. It's just kind of, it's like a domino effect.
And like, then fatherhood on top of that. Let's talk about Cross, man. Like, because
Cross didn't make that was Cross made me a worse writer. Cross made me a worse.
No, man, you a girl dad now, yo. Welcome to the club. That is what it is. But
I love it. I don't even
talk to me about it, man. Talk to me about your daughter.
I don't even want a son. People be like, "You having a son?" I'll be like, "Yo, don't disrespect my daughter." Come on, man. Like, no, I think it gave me patience. It gave me patience, but it also filled me up with a kind of fear that I can't really explain. It is very, very scary to be someone's parent. It is scary as hell.
Especially a black girl, yo.
And the funny part is, when you are a parent, you know this, you don't really know if you do a good job until that kid turns like 40. Yeah. So you gotta wait until they turn like 40.
You gotta wait until they old enough to unpack the microaggressions and all you gotta see traumas that you didn't hear about.
You gotta see how they do in whatever school if they go to school. You gotta see how they do in business if they go in business. You gotta see how they treat their own family if they have one. And then the biggest test, the one we all fail, is you have to pull back and be like, yo, how do they talk about you? And I think we all go through this stuff because it's like when you're young, You're like, yo, my dad is shit. Yo, my dad is this. My dad is that. You get a little older, you be like, damn, dad, you was fucking up. Like, you ain't do this. You ain't do that. You could have went harder for me. And then you have your own kids, and you be like, damn, I get it.
You understand.
I understand. My dad was
so
going
much.
through this and going through that. So you go through these different
What's that
things.
been like for you with your father, right? Like, think about, like, because I know, like, that was a bar that you just spit for me, because that, as my kids get older, right, and I will preface it with this, my father is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I have a great relationship with him, like, still to this day, one of my best friends, and I'm thankful for our relationship.
Let me know if he give you problems. I'll pull up on him.
As we get older, though, there's so many things that you realize, like differences in parenting styles, like differences in personality and like how you communicate, all of that kind of stuff. And there are things like, as great as he was, like, I want to live up to that mantle. I want to take the baton and run with it. So I want to do better. You know what I mean? Like, so what is that? What is Cross taught you about parenting that makes you look at your relationship with your parents in a different way?
Yo, what's crazy is that I wasn't a mama's boy, but Cross spends a lot of time with my mom. She sees my mom almost like every week.
Really?
And it's like interesting of how my mom is connecting with her in a way she didn't connect with me. I was making fun.
Are you grateful of that? Are you grateful for that, or spiteful for that sometimes?
I'm thankful. No, I'm thankful. I'm
good.
Thankful. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful.
Got to figure out how to get my people to come back together. Got to get us to stop arguing with one another and start focusing on solutions. How do you bring your people together when we're so divided? How do we get our people to cooperate when we're constantly going to war with one another? How do we bring about peace when all we ever known is war and violence? I don't got all the answers, but man, we're gonna have to figure it out. We got to. There's no other option.